Greetings from the Hobo Hut, where it is 17 degrees outside. Feels like 7, and we're up over 60, headed for 70 inside, so we can stay warm in I'm going to coin a new phrase today. We're going to call it actively cold. It is actively cold outside. The cold is it's not just sitting out there, it will actually come after you in an active fashion. It's very cold. Yeah, we can stay warm in here. But let's talk about staying safe and staying alive in the outdoors, as well as staying warm and comfortable. How dangerous can it be? You're 50 yards from your house. Logistically, that's accurate. But is that where we get too comfortable? Is that where, we forget a step, we overlook a piece of gear, we get too comfortable? We're a bad mindset to be in. I'm only 50 yards from my house, and have a bad outcome. And I do this to relax and enjoy myself, and if I knew of someone else that tried it and had a bad outcome, I'd feel badly. So let's talk about a few things. How dangerous is it, Sam? Well, we've got a fire burning inside what would be considered a confined space. So the first, most obvious thing is, adequate clearance between your source of heat and your flammable walls. Don't forget, it is constructed out of a flammable material. So for that, we have the obvious. We've got a fire extinguisher on hand, got a shovel in the corner there for some reason. And that's the obvious, as far as a fire would go. And the maybe something that's not so obvious is that fire is competing with you for the oxygen in this confined space, and it'll win if you let it. So we have a CO2 detector, audible alarm hanging up there at the ceiling. So, if you decide to close your eyes and think, I'll just close my eyes for a minute. Yeah, you do want to have a CO2 alarm. And another thing you want to think about, we've got probably 1 foot to 2 foot of snow piled up around the bottom of the walls here. So we're fairly airtight. You want to replenish that air. It's leaving here 2.5 inches. So you want to replenish that air. I'll leave the zipper on the door open a few inches, and then I put that mat there to kind of hold back the draft, because it'll really draw some air in. And that's that's just regarding the fire itself. And there's some other safety things. I'm a veteran of 40 plus years, mechanic and welder, and at this point my hands are actually graded as leather, but I've made it a strict habit of, anytime I'm handling wood, I just always have these cheap leather work gloves on, and whether I'm carrying it or splitting it with them all outside, or downsizing it here in front of the stove with a hatchet or my knife, I've always got those gloves on. I just make it a habit. And one slip, these things are made to go cut through wood. You might want to have a little protection. Just think about that. And when I'm putting wood in the stove, it's stamped stainless steel. It's got some sharp edges on it, actually. But, good reason to wear gloves right there. And it's hot. That's kind of obvious. Yeah, and even the peripherals. I've got my kettle sitting up there and my coffee cup. And, you grab that little bail, I'll just move this over. And you end up with a little burn on your finger. And, how catastrophic and life-threatening is that? Well, that little burn is right where you're going to touch everything for the next week, and it's going to be really annoying. So there again, a fun experience and relaxing, turned into a problem. Just, take some precautions, do some things safely, and you'll enjoy yourself a little more. I do. Have a lovely day. It is, we're battling the elements out here. Thanks.